So the idea being that the dog nose targets, puts its nose on your hand and it remains in constant contact with the hand, and therefore when you then can move the dog from being out wide, you can then bring it on your leg, and then you gradually fade the hand out of the equation. So the hand would become higher, and depending on what sport you did, you would then move the hand totally out of the equation. Now, you can just get a toy in his mouth or whatever if you want to. How you start off teaching hand touches, how I start them off is I would have low tidbits in my hand, and I'd have one hand clean, one hand with a tidbit. And I'd pretend like, ooh, no, pretend like I'm eating a tidbit, and I put my hand down, and I personally train my dogs to target the centre of my hand. And I have to say with that, so I teach them to target the centre of my. I have to say I've altered this with different dogs. So my boxer, he does a chin target just because of the shape of his face, and with my collie puppy, I'm actually teaching it differently. I'm actually teaching him to do it on a closed fist. But the gist of it is the dog has been trained, all my dogs have been trained to make constant contact, so they do that with their hand, depending on which part of their hand you want. Some people like it on their fingertips, some people like it in the palm of their hands, some people like it inside their hand. There is no right or wrong, okay, in my opinion. I would say do whatever suits you. Personally, I like the dog to be on the palm of my hand. The reason being is because I can feel it better. Right? I can feel the sensation of whether the dog's on. I know how much dog I've got, basically. Yeah. Whereas if it's on the edge of my fingers, right? Personally, I find it. One, I don't think that's an inviting space for the dog to want to push its nose into. If you imagine the end of the dog's nose, to me, it's quite a sensitive part, and I'm asking it to make contact with that, which to me is an uneven surface, and it doesn't. It's my nails. It's like, why would my dog want to push its nose? Which personally, I wouldn't want to try it. It's not right, it's not wrong, okay? So you can then create a lighter contact. My thought process is why I don't like a lighter contact is because when I try and heel a position, the dog's going to be softer in position. And I like my dog to hold a very strong head position. Yeah. I like it to be very trained so the dog doesn't move it at all. Now, with the train I put to create a lighter hand touches, you get a softer head position, which the benefit of that is you may get better movement. Right. Yes, so it's all about knowing the pitfalls and what you want. Yeah. Personally, I want the dog to hold a very, very strong head position, and I want the dog's movement to be purposeful. I want it to be very definite in how it moves. Yeah. I personally don't like lofty, floaty, light movement. I don't, personally, aesthetically, I don't like it. I don't dislike it, but if I had a preference, I would always go for having more power and partial movement. Yes. I want the dog to be purposeful and intense, so that's what I try to train for. Yeah? So hence why, in the roundabout way, going around the house is why I like my dogs to be quite strong in the hand touch. Okay? So going back to him I would say you need to find a happy medium between being too quick and it being erratic, and too slow and holding it back. It's a fine line between the two, which you got there at the end. Yes. He definitely is capable of moving a lot better, like fluidly, beautifully. Have you started left circles with him at all?
No.
Okay.
No. I've done very, very little with him actually. Okay. So, but I'm free now. So.
Okay. All right. So let's go back and just do your right hand circles with him. Yes.